Hey guys.
Hola, welcome to Dorks on the Mend. I don't even know why I did that.
Okay, Speedy Gonzalez. Got you.
An accent
No, he
system.
would say more like,
Welcome to
"Welcome
Three
to Three
Dorks.
Dorks on the Mend."
Speedy Gonzalez was like one of my favorite
Yep.
cartoons.
He
We're
was
gonna get
definitely
canceled.
being from San Diego, and knowing the dialect from the Mexican population in TJ.
It
They
is very
talk that
melodic.
very
It
sing-songy,
is extremely melodic. I
like,
love it.
and they use that in a lot of the old, Mexican television
Now,
and
granted,
movies.
they exacerbate it. They make it a lot more than what it is.
Yeah.
But when you listen to a conversation,
It's
it does
pretty.
have kind of like a melody, a song to it. I think it's beautiful.
Oh, that's
My
sweet.
friends.
Yeah,
I'm so sweet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if
No, I'm not.
people don't know this, but the Mexican culture is very near and dear to our heart. I have two wonderful, beautiful, half Mexican children that I just love and adore, and I have a half Mexican wife. So,
How
and
fascinating.
I lived in San Diego most of my life.
For those of you that don't know, that would
Right,
be
that's that chica allá. But yeah, we've been blessed in having that culture be a part of our life, and the food. My God,
Oh,
man,
God.
that's
You
all
know what? We're
I
going to
need in my
do
life.
an episode dedicated to like Mexican
Are we?
culture and food and all
And
the other
what's
good
Nick
stuff.
gonna do this episode?
He's going to take notes
I'll be there. I'll
I'll be
and he's
tell me
probably
the
going to tell us how he
what you're
there.
puts
gonna
cheese
make.
sauce on everything.
We'll make it on this end, and I'll just eat it and tell you how good it is.
There
Right?
you go.
In fact, I made. What did I make tonight? I made
Chile verde.
chili verde tonight.
Oh, nice.
It was so good, dude.
Mm,
And we didn't even have any frijoles to go with it. But
no, but listen, it was a craving. You do what you got to do with a craving.
what we are here to
I know
put
we're not here to
forth,
talk about Mexican food.
Make you hungry for dinner.
put forth, put forth into this universe of dorkdom
Dorkdom.
is we're going to talk
Dorkisms.
a lot about the Lord of the Rings and everything there is about it,
A
and
little bit about it.
what's coming and what's on
What
the
has come,
horizon,
what is coming, feelings, comments,
what has
concerns,
been good, what has been bad, or what is indifferent.
the good, the bad, the ugly.
I always make the titles for these kind of shows the good, the bad, and the ugly for whatever reason. They all
Because that's
have,
a great movie.
yeah, it is, but they all have qualities of that. Even the great Batman has the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah,
We should do an episode about
westerns are cool. I like westerns. There have been some really cool westerns that have been crossover
westerns. Like, if you think about it, Lord of the
into
Rings could
sci-fi,
technically be roundabout considered a western.
kind
It's
of
like
ish.
western themed with mythical creatures. They're riding out to defeat the bad
I mean, because they're on horseback does
To
not
save the
necessarily
town.
make them westerny.
Listen, you have the horseback, you have the Indians with the bows and arrows, you've got
Those
all
aren't
the things
Indians.
to make it a western.
It's
Those
based
are
on
elves.
Eastern European folklore.
There's even some hats in there. I'm just saying.
Gandalf wore a 10-gallon hat.
He did. It was a big hat.
Oh boy.
I don't think that passes as a western,
Okay.
but there have been some okay westerns. I thought The
There
Quick
have
and the
been.
Dead was really good for
So we'll put
a
that in the bank.
dorky genre.
We'll see if we can bring that to fruition. I think that would be fun.
I had Leo. Leo did a great job, and it was a Sam Raimi film, so you can't
You
go
are
wrong with
definitely
Sam
a
Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
No. Until now, I did not know that. I watched the movie when I was young, and I really liked it, but I did not know that was Sam Raimi.
Now you know. That's why you liked it, probably, because
Probably, yeah. Hmm.
he's kind of brilliant. Let's say that for the most part. He's had some stinkers, but
So we're not doing westerns today. What are we
no.
doing today?
What are we doing?
We're doing. I think
The
we're
Lord
doing Lord of the
the
Rings,
Rings.
right? I thought we already did the
I'm
big
pretty sure.
Lord of the
unveil.
Rings, baby.
Lord of the
I'm a
Rings.
huge fan.
Like, how big of a fan?
I would say
Like,
that
what's your, if you're gonna rank your fandom of Lord of the Rings, where do you
I
rank yourself?
probably spent close to maybe a couple $1,000s on stuff.
Oh wow.
So I mean, that's probably pretty good. I've bought some killer art from Ben Mirabelli,
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings art.
He does some
I
amazing things.
love a lot of the neoprene statues that they had. They they made great figures during the movie when the movie's released.
Yes,
They
they did.
made some awesome figurines, and I think you have a bunch too, don't you?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I have them. They're in bins
So,
somewhere. Some of them are at my parents' house, but I have them somewhere.
Yeah. Mine are all packed away and stuff too. But um,
let's
yeah, I
do
don't
some.
really buy a lot of action figures, but those to me were more like showpieces more than that. They were like almost like the Batman statues that I have and stuff. I
They're
would put
very
them up there.
artistic, and that is hugely because of
Todd
building the
McFarlane.
characters.
Not really. I mean, honestly, it's because of Todd and Spawn. If the Spawn action figures never came out, they would just kind of be ho hum. But
Well,
they took them to a new level, in my
I think
opinion.
it has a lot to do with Tolkien's ability to build a scene and build beautiful characters, and
Very descriptive, that's for sure.
And I do
you got
the
12
packaging.
pages describing a chair.
Oh,
That
What
would be
is it?
pretty.
What were you saying about the packaging?
The packaging was beautiful too, because like you'd look and it had like that kind of like oval around it, and like you could see like there's the figure in the center. Um, very cool box art. Yeah.
Yeah, they really did a great job with the merchandising of that movie.
Don't look at the chat. Don't do it. Oh, Bronner and Sean are gonna like break up right now.
Uh-oh, what happened?
So Sean says he likes Lord of the Rings, but it's not one of his favorite fandoms. He's more of a sci-fi guy,
Yeah,
which
he
we
is.
know.
Yeah.
He's our Firefly buff.
Okay. I mean,
I have a question
it's fair.
That
because
is fair.
am I the only one that finds most people pick one or the other? Most
No,
people
I
are
think
not
that's true.
equally dedicated to sci-fi and high fantasy.
I-
If someone is a sci-fi nerd, they're a sci-fi nerd. They may have an appreciation for the fantasy.
I think Nick is the first person I've met that has an equal love.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I like them both. And when you put them both together, I love them even more. But
That is a good thing.
I think you're right. And for a while, I mean, there was some rivalry going on between Star Wars fans and Lord of the Rings fans. Like the Star Wars and Trekkie rivalry, like died down for a little bit, and like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars were going at each other. Like when the Lord of the Rings movies came out and they were so good, it was like, oh, this is the best trilogy ever. And the Star Wars fans were like, no, it's not. And
Like, excuse me, who are you talking to? Yeah.
message boards were
So-
held.
I'm just gonna go ahead and earn my divorce right now, real quick. Rip off the band-aid. I'm with Sean on some of that. I do like Lord of the Rings. It's not one of my favorite like high fantasy fandom stories. Like, I appreciate it. I enjoy it for what it is. I'm not obsessed with it.
I was less obsessed with it before the movies came out. Before the Peter Jackson films came out,
I can
was
understand
less
that.
obsessed with it.
Tolkien is not an easy read. It is not.
Yeah, I do think those movies are the single best piece of visual high fantasy fiction that has been.
100%.
Absolutely. 1,000% on board with that statement. However, I feel like if you were to put that amount of money and that amount of talent into any high fantasy story, you would get the same results. You would get the same beautiful, amazing scenery.
I don't think so. Ask Avatar.
That's all CG. It's like, you know,
It's a lot of money put into that movie.
and it is gorgeous. It is visually stunning.
Not to me. Not appealing.
You don't like the movie though.
Nothing about that movie was appealing to me.
Bullshit. You only don't like the movie because it has Sam Worthington in it. You don't like him.
Guys, I went straight to Avatar: The Last Airbender in my head. Like, yeah, that M. Night Shyamalan.
I always do that to you.
Tell me-
always do that to you.
Tell me you're a
because
real nerd without telling me you're a real nerd. Because I knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about Blue Aliens.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And now admit that movie is visually stunning. The world that was created is absolutely gorgeous.
I'm gonna give you that one, Ray. It is. It's not my favorite fandom.
Exactly. It's not the greatest movie. But you have to appreciate what they built.
It keeps you captivated despite the failings of its simple plot. Like,
Right.
it has a very simple, regurgitated, recycled plot line and shallow character development. But that's not what you're there for. You're there to just look at the pretty. Like, ooh,
Right.
it's pretty, and aliens, and yay.
Oh, look at you and Sean being on the same page. That's so cute. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I
playing
don't
Matchmaker.
know. I don't know. I mean, I'm more of a dark sci-fi kind of guy. Give me Blade Runner. Give me Terminator. You know, I don't know. Give me Alien. I mean, give me the dark. I like the dark,
Yeah.
you know, underbelly of. Give me the dark
Because-
side. Give me the Empire. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely the
I'm not like
commonplace.
you know, happy-go-lucky kind of. I didn't like the Ewoks. I mean, they could have done without Ewoks and anything. No, they could have just left them somewhere on some planet that never was visited, in
Listen,
my
but you know
opinion.
what? My opinion is not one that should be taken seriously because
I mean, unless there was like
Jar Jar
a murder scene or something with the Ewoks.
your face.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you love Ewoks, and I was gonna be like, yeah, I remember them from when I was a kid. I loved them too.
Ah,
Jar Jar
No,
Binks.
Ewoks.
No,
you cannot like.
No,
no,
you're right.
God.
He's like that special needs character. that
No,
you
he's not.
No.
He's beloved, and you
No,
can't help
by
it.
no Star Wars fan ever.
Sorry,
Oh.
he's adorable to me. Okay,
Not to
That's-
anybody ever.
Jar Jar's my guilty pleasure. Okay,
What?
come
She makes me do the voice during
on.
Cunninghlings.
You can't do that when I take a drink. That almost came out my nose. Yeah, Jar Jar's my guilty pleasure.
She makes
I've
you
never.
But
I don't believe that at all.
you want to watch it again?
No.
Oh no. No.
I will. I fast forward Jar Jar.
Hit fast forward, just get to the Duel of the Fates, watch the whole
That's
thing
it.
at like 5 times speed, and it's much better.
Listen, but I am that
Falling off.
stereotypical. I lean towards. I am in love with high fantasy, multiple styles of high fantasy. I have a high appreciation for the sci-fi, but fantasy is where it's at for me. 100%. Which is why I should love Lord of the Rings more than I do. But for whatever reason, I just was not hooked to it.
Why? I don't
enjoy
get
it.
that.
I do. 100% enjoy it.
Because
Think
she
it's a great
loves
story.
like.
I am one of those people that enjoyed Ring of Power season 1. I did enjoy it. I was not goo goo gaga over it. Like
You
everybody
liked
else.
it more than the other show.
Which other show?
Whatever it was called. What am I thinking of? It was
Wheel of Time?
came out about the same time. Yeah, Wheel of Time.
Oh,
Oh. Okay.
actually, I like Wheel of Time better.
Did
I was
you?
more critical of Wheel of Time. I enjoy it. I was more critical of it because I like the story more.
I thought the first season of The Ring of Power was excellent.
Why were you,
I
Sean?
was
How come you couldn't get into it? Because I hear that a lot.
I couldn't get into season 2 at all. I loved season 1.
You also have a lot of extracurricular things going on. We're watching it at a very awkward time in the day for you. So I think if you watch it at a different time, you'll be more into it. It's health things and exhaustion. So
I thought it picked up visually where the movies left off, and I really adored that.
I can see that, Sean, because what I hear is that it's slow. So Sean said he couldn't get into the Ring of Power the first season. He said it was boring. A lot of the comments that I hear from people is that it was slow. And I can see that. It kind of you had to get into the meat of it. It took a little bit.
Yeah, that was kind of my take too. Was like I watched it after hearing like Tolkien nerds just rail on it,
Hmm.
being like, "It's not true
Which
at all. It's terrible." And
yeah, I
not
didn't get
terrible.
any of that bullshit. I mean, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't like after watching it, I was like, oh, okay. Well, the bar for me was set down here, and then I watched it. I was like, it's actually fine. It's completely fine. It's better than those Hobbit movies because at least there's like a coherent story direction that's going somewhere.
100%.
But
I'm so glad I'm not the only person that thought that.
No, every person thought that.
I do think that there's some times where it drags a little, but it doesn't drag 3 movies out of one book little.
Yeah.
It moves quicker than that.
It certainly does.
I think honestly, it's because everybody was left riding this high because you end on such a grand note for Lord of the Rings, and then we just don't really consider, like, we gloss over hobbits, right? So we don't even think about that. But so you're riding this grand ending high from Lord of the Rings, and then you start watching Ring of Power and you forget you still have to build a story. This is a completely separate, and people are like, oh my god, it was so slow, I couldn't get into it. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a normal, like, brand new season. You have to learn things.
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise, then it's just like, do you really want them to just have characters that but in very
Just
different
make a movie.
life than they were, and not feel like they have to introduce those characters? Like,
Right.
I heard a lot of shit about Galadriel, like people being like, "Ah, that's not what Galadriel was like in the book." And blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, well, one, in the books, she's at a very different stage of her life. Two, she's not a protagonist character, so the amount of information you need to know about her is minimal, or lesser than it would be if she's actually like the driving force of the show. So
Right.
get into a little bit more of like, oh, who is she? Who was she? What did she do? It might be a little different than what people expected, but they
I
got
loved that about
a little
that
bit more.
show.
Yeah.
I really thought she was, a badass character.
Yeah.
I knew she was a badass, in you know when she met Frodo and she was trying to manipulate Frodo and doing all those things.
Mhm.
She was a badass,
You get that hint. You get that feeling from the
whatever,
character
you knew that she was not one to be trifled with.
that
She
she's
was
got.
extraordinarily
She's
powerful.
got some stories to tell.
And
I
again,
enjoy that. I think that giving these characters some depth, some backstory. I
I
enjoy
really
that.
liked the Sauron character in
Hmm.
the Ring of Power, and showing, I loved the what they did in the Lord of the Rings movie and showing him becoming Sauron, um, during that battle, and it was visually really really appealing. But then to find out like where this little imp comes from
Hmm.
and how he becomes so freaking powerful was really cool.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's just being, continued in season 2. I'm definitely seeing season 2 dragging a little more than I saw season 1, but that's personally.
yeah.
I don't think it
I
does.
think I'll enjoy it
I think
overall.
yeah, I think yours is definitely situational. I think because Sean says the second season's better, and I agree with Sean that it definitely like kicks
Well,
right
they
in.
4 episodes in, right, to season, or are they 6 episodes? They release another three, or did they just release one on this week? Anyone know?
I don't know. I'll be honest and say I only watched the first two because I was a little short on time. But I will say that what I saw of the first two, I thought was good. I thought that the first one, focusing a little bit more on Sauron and how he became what he is and leading up to
Right,
the season, I thought that was well done. I thought it was interesting.
loved it.
Uh, I also it's doing something. The show's doing something for me that I didn't really consider prior to the show coming out because I always kind of looked at Sauron in the fiction in the books as being like a counterpoint to somebody like Gandalf, since they're both these like higher beings from the Undying Lands who
Hmm.
to the mortal realm. One's there to save it, one's there to more or less control or destroy it. And I looked at those two as sort of parallels. But what this show is kind of revealing to me is that Sauron is actually more of a parallel to like Aragorn because he's there to like unravel society, whereas Aragorn was like the great unifier who brought the wholeness of society together at the end of the book. So like, and there's even a little bit of a juxtaposition between like the actor they chose and if you look at Aragorn and how he looks,
Vigo, yeah, they
Yeah.
look similar, very similar.
and I wonder if maybe some of that was intentional.
Um, I would believe it had to have been. Or maybe they're just
Well,
playing on the success of Vigo, and wanting to capture that.
I can see that. I
that
can see that being kind of like a cheap, easy way out. But I have a question for you both because you guys are the hardcore heavy fans and you see a lot of criticism from the hardcore heavy fans about the liberties that were taken in Ring of Power. Like
which I don't agree with myself.
Yeah, no,
a lot of people are upset, like, the rings are made out of order, they gloss over it, they're changing timelines, are you just chalking this up to adaptation changes or does it bother you? It don't bother me.
I'll go. It doesn't bother me because a lot of that, like these staunch nerds that are just getting really in their fifis about this crap, are talking about stuff that's in appendices. Like, I shit you not. Like, this is not something that was in a novel
Right,
or
right,
a book about the Second Age, and this is all like, there's so much canon lore. It's literally like a sentence where he's like, this happened here, and that's it. And people
Mhm.
are acting crazy. Like this is like the canon Bible that must be adhered to. And if you do anything out of order, even if it was completely underdeveloped, like what I don't understand. Like what were these people expecting? Because there wasn't really a full story. They had to do some iteration and adaptation in order to have a story. So
right,
you either you want them to just keep re-releasing the Lord of the Rings, at which point why bother doing it because we already have the perfect adaptation, or you want something new, in which case they're gonna have to make shit up.
right. There's only so much in the Lord of the Rings lore.
Mhm.
That, I mean, you can't go beyond that. You have to make shit up, and
And
I thought they
fantasy,
did a great job in doing that. So
they I
that's
and
my point, I
that was
guess.
my point. I'm not exactly the biggest fan, but as the average fan, I don't feel like they did anything that was egregious. I think that it was very seamless. They explained it well, they glossed it well. I think it worked well for the story, and I think people need to get their panties out of their ass and
I agree.
just call it a day.
Panties out of their. That sounds painful. And
Depending
but
on
I
what
want to
panties
talk
you're
about
wearing.
the animated things. I'm a big fan of the original animated Lord of the Rings. Um,
I have a
the one that was
controversial
done
opinion.
by the one that was done with that the very very whatever you call it. I mean, you call it kind of like maybe advancement and artistry and technology, different type of animation where they had live action people and then they drew over them. Ralph Bakshi kind of did this really new, different kind of take on something. Is it just me or there's crinkle papers happening around my entire being?
I'm hearing. Oh. Oh.
That was our producer, and there was papers being crinkled in my ears, and I'm like, "That is so freaking rude, you two."
I think it was on your end, and I was just like, I'll let it go.
Right, yeah, our producer,
So,
love
okay,
him. Thank
So
you.
you enjoy the animated, right?
I loved what they did. Thank you. It's not me over there, Sean.
I can appreciate the anime. I can appreciate anything really.
I thought it was so really cool, and like I don't know
I'm gonna say
that my
something.
15-year-old person just thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I loved it.
Maybe before the movies came out, it was a viable option, but now
It
that
was the only
right.
option.
But listen, just listen. It was a viable option because you didn't have the advancements in CGI and technology, and being able to get a story with that much scenery and that beautiful, descriptions out. You would not do it justice if you tried. It's just like when you watched the original Dune. They tried. They failed miserably. Now the new one, they nail it as far as bringing this story to life, right? So before the movies came out, animated viable option, fantastic. Now that the movies have come out, in my opinion, I feel like it's a cheap way to milk the cow. They don't have to put as much money into it because it is animated, but they are going to milk Lord of the Rings for everything it's worth.
What are you talking about?
You talking about like new animated shows?
I'm talking about the new one that is going to come out.
Oh, that's right. They are doing one of those, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah, it's set 200 years in the
It's
past, right?
200 years before, and I don't know. I just think it's a cheap way to milk the cow.
It's the War of
Rohypnol? No, that's a roofie.
I did read
Rohirrim.
Yep.
The War of Rohirrim, and that to me is awesome because they're the the horse lords and
Rise of Rohan, baby.
yeah, and they are truly cool. They're like very like desert dwelling people that kick ass and fight for the good things in life.
Yeah.
Not always either. There's a lot of like turmoil within that that area, that geographical location in Lord of the Rings. So
I just think it's cheap.
I think it has intrigue.
I'm gonna reserve my judgment until I see it because, like, if they did one, if they got like, and I find myself thinking this a lot, if they could get the animators that did the Castlevania series on Netflix to do Lord of the Rings, very like fantasy kingdom-esque.
I don't know what
as well.
What artistic style they're gonna do.
Yeah.
But I would very much appreciate an anime type take on it.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting.
Like if they did like the Dragon Prince, the people that did the Dragon Prince.
It's going to be out
series.
this year. Is it November or December that it comes out?
Yeah, it comes out this year. It's almost out.
Right
I think it's coming out for Christmas.
So.
Hell yeah! I got another one to put on my list. Yeah.
What do you mean, Ben?
I do feel like when it comes to like
I don't
Lord
know
of
what that means.
that made like the old animated series, I kind of look at that as like two different things, like two different medium. I think about it like when I think about The Dark Knight as a movie versus Batman Brave and the Bold as a cartoon. It's got a little bit of a different tone. It plays with, I guess, kind of the same canon-ish. But like the old cartoony movies to me felt like they were built for kind of a different audience, mainly children or more, and adult fans could enjoy them too. But like they threw in a bunch of like musical songs and numbers, and they even got like the people that were doing them were known for making children's movies at the time, like Christmas movies and all that. Was that Rankin and Bass? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love those.
Yeah. So, and they also had some bangers like Down Down to Goblin Town. That song still lives rent free in my brain.
No, they're in the musical. No, I loved the tavern song. You know, there is an inn, a merry old inn beneath the old gray hill.
Ooh.
Those songs are from the books, and I think they did an awesome job in putting them in the movie, the animated series, animated show. I loved it. And then he puts the ring on by accident, and
They're
everything.
adorable.
That's when the ring wraiths actually sense him and go into that town. So that was terrifying. The ring wraiths were terrifying in that animated series for a kid my age. I mean, being like 13-ish, maybe 11, something like that.
Now I really want a musical.
The ring wraiths were freaking
McKellen.
very, very. It's almost as wicked. They did a really great job doing the ring race when they attacked Aragorn and Frodo, when they first met each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautifully done.
Good.
That great fight,
Hey.
flames and all that. Oh, so good.
Put you
It was
outside.
beautifully done.
We have crack-headed dogs.
Yeah, we have crack-headed dogs for show.
I'm gonna play with this nose.
But I was really. It doesn't look like Wario
Listen,
to me.
tell me this doesn't look like a character. We have an eyeball, we have a nose, we have another eyeball, we have a very ornate mustache, kind of a hat or some hair, like a smile-ish. It looks like a Wario to me.
I can see it. Or like Dr. Robotnik with the big old mustache.
Yes, Robotnik. That's who I'm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see it.
It's a character. It's very distracting, whatever it is. So I'm gonna put my big fat head right here.
The beady eyes, big mustache.
Big mustache
He
for
is
no
Dr.
reason.
Robotnik. Oh man.
But a lot of them have weird mustaches, like the guy that was the evil villain in Crash Bandicoot, Neo Cortex. Remember
Weird
Neo?
mustache equals villain status.
Right.
This is very true. And the amount of like hair gel it would take to get it to stand up like that.
Yeah, the gel and the wax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That would be fun.
be crazy.
Would be nuts though.
It just like goes down into my mouth and
So
makes it hard.
does anyone have any idea what the animation style is going to be in the? Has there been anything released about this thing? I couldn't find anything.
Do a Google search. I don't know.
Do a Google search because
Let's
I didn't
ask
find
Project.
anything.
And it exists. That's all I found.
I really hope they do it justice.
It looks like there's a trailer, and it does look like it's very anime-esque. The director is definitely an Asian name that I am not going to pronounce because I would prefer not to have anybody
You'll get fired.
be insulted by my stupidity.
You're gonna get fired. Is Batman
Kenji
in it?
is the first thing. No, I'm just saying.
Oh, here's a trailer. Huh.
Why couldn't I find anything on it? No. Maybe it was the
So,
lack of trying.
given that style, I think as long as it's done in a way that pays homage, I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Is it dark and brooding?
It seems serious from what I saw.
Okay, good. As long as
And
it's not like light and fluffy.
And I do know that Peter Jackson is like part of the project. So that does give it hope, in my opinion.
That was the first thing I noticed was in the trailer. It said Peter Jackson presents. So I was like, oh, all right, maybe. Who knows?
Right.
Then-
You know, Peter
Yeah.
Jackson's put his stamp of approval on it.
Yo,
Okay, children, it's time. We're going outside. Give me a second.
Doggies.
the dog's gotta go.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. Come on.
I feel like though,
As long as Pattinson doesn't play Gandalf, you are the biggest hater in the world, Sean.
Pattinson doesn't play Gandalf.
Good job.
Pattinson would make a great Gandalf.
He is
No,
a
he
versatile
wouldn't.
actor.
Yeah,
It's
he
because you have a
would.
boner for him.
No, I'm just saying that when he ages, he's gonna age.
When he ages. Yeah, in about 30 years, Pattinson can be Gandalf. No.
Yeah,
A
he
young
could.
Gandalf.
Yeah, he could be a young Gandalf for sure.
Oh, we're gonna get an
Those
origin
are
story.
Gandalf.
Let's get an
He's-
origins.
Fine,
That.
I'd see it.
Okay. All right, we're gonna gloss over your boner for Pattinson.
Although it might be that would they'd have to do a lot. They'd have to take a lot of liberties because I think Gandalf's younger years are all just spent on a plane of paradise, doing nothing but like living
We
comfortably.
That'd
don't need an
be a great
angsty
movie.
Gandalf. We need an angsty Gandalf.
We do not need an emo Gandalf.
He's emo. I'm sorry.
No.
That's the very definition of Gandalf.
Yes, we definitely need an angsty Gandalf.
But young Gandalf would literally be living in paradise. He would have no problems.
Right. The character would be living in paradise, and you're watching Robert Pattinson
Well,
in paradise.
how did he become so
angsty.
bitter?
He got
He
sent
left
to the
paradise.
man, my friend.
I'd be bitter too if I left paradise.
Yeah. Yeah, you go from perfect society to whatever the hell humans do
be
anytime
nitwits.
anywhere.
Right?
Did
The
you live
whole-
with lived with the elves? Is that what you're
Gandalf
saying?
gives facepalm energy. The whole freaking movie. He's like, you're a freaking idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
So weirdly, it's not that Gandalf lived with the elves, it's that the elves got to live with Gandalf because in the canon, what Gandalf is more equivalent to like an angel, kind of, or like a holy spirit, and they live with angels. The Valar, I think is how it's pronounced. Don't come at me if I said that wrong, but they live in the Undying Land. It's paradise. It's where Frodo, you know how Frodo, Gandalf, Galadriel, at the end they get on the boat and they go sail off. That's where they're headed, is to the Undying Lands, which is paradise.
The golden gates. They're going to the pearly gates. Just kidding.
Gandalf gets to go back because his mission is complete, and Frodo gets to go there because he is damaged.
Thatch doll.
They did. They damaged that poor little halfling.
Fucked him up.
They really did, man.
Poor guy's gonna be.
That was some badass mind fuckery that Gandalf did on that kid. Yeah, you got to admit.
Oh no!
He's gonna need a damn good therapist.
Gandalf the groomer.
Gandalf kind of was a groomer when you think.
You
about
know, he was, and they might
You have a
tell.
point.
They might tell you that they're going off to the Isle of whatever it is,
Misfit toys.
but they are going. They're really going to a European nation. You know, that prefers
They're going
young
to the south
hobbit.
of France at those topless beaches.
That prefers young hobbit men.
Oh god!
The only people that go to topless beaches are
Human
people that need to go to
hobbit
topless
trafficking
beaches.
started that very day.
Ooh.
Hobbit trafficking. Oh my god, poor.
And we're canceled. Yay!
Oh god.
We can't be canceled. We own our own show.
That's not how that works, darling.
What are you talking about? All I have to do is press play and I'm on.
Oh.
Listen, nobody watches anyway, so fuck it.
Who's gonna cancel us? Sean? Sean, do you want to cancel us?
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh god.
We love you, Sean. Don't cancel us. It's
We
okay.
love all of you, even though I don't know who you guys are.
Oh.
Ben, do I know you? Wuta? Who is Wutaj? I keep wanting to know who Wuta is. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Tyler popped in one time, and then he's like, never coming back.
Where's Sherman been? Where's what was that? Rasmussen. Where's Rasmussen?
We're gonna have to ask them to forfeit their lives and spend time with us. That's all there is to it.
Oh,
Where,
I'm feeling neglected.
right? Yeah, see, he's good. He doesn't want to
He's
cancel
good.
us.
He ain't gonna cancel it.
good. Yay.
Because he knows if he cancels us, I'm not sorting Legos with him.
She doesn't sort Legos with me, so if she sorts them with you, I will be so
Yours
jelly.
come pre-sorted.
They do. They even
What am I
are
gonna
numbered. The bags are numbered.
Mm.
It's
I
like
don't-
building
don't-
furniture. It says you need a part A, you get one of the A.
You know what though? I don't do Legos that are not part of a set. I don't do like what do they call them? The ones that are
Like just the
green and
blocks.
red and
Yeah.
yellow.
The bucket.
What the fuck do you build with those
You
besides
get
a
creative.
multicolor house?
Those are the ones that I like because then you just
All
do
you
stuff.
can fucking build with them is a boat that's multicolored, a
You can
house
build
that's multicolored.
a
That
house. You can build.
they all look like cartoon houses.
a town. You can build a fire truck. You can build.
You know.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal of the general set.
Listen, let me send you some things that you can build. Okay.
When I was a kid, they didn't have all these like newfangled IPs. Like they didn't have an Optimus Prime Lego kit, so I would use those to build an Optimus Prime out of Legos. You know, that was
But
kind of
would he not be a multicolored? Because you didn't have enough of any one color. He would be like green and red and yellow and white.
mine. I had an Optimus Prime I built of my own. I wish I could find it because it was pretty accurate. It had it had this little like faceplate thing and had the little like sticking up helmet.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, did it.
I know Bronner has not.
I have played Lego Lord of the Rings.
Did you play without me?
Yeah. Why is that dog inside now?
I think
So
isn't
he's
it
probably
free
leaving.
right now on Amazon or did that end? I think when they released the new season, you could actually go on like Amazon Games and you could download Lord of the Rings, Lego Lord of the Rings for free.
I'm really sad that you played it without me.
Yeah, I
'Cause we
downloaded
played
all of.
Harry Potter together.
Yeah, I
That was fun.
downloaded all. Once I had Harry Potter, I downloaded all of the Lego, like Lego Marvel, Lego Batman.
Okay. Is there something else you want to tell me?
They're all on the PlayStation. You can play them anytime.
Is there anything else I need to know that you've done without me?
Yeah, lots.
I'll meet.
I'm a 56-year-old man. I've done lots without you.
God damn, how thirsty can you fucking be?
I can play my Lego video game on my own time.
Right? I'm a grown man.
Amazon Luna. It's on Amazon Luna.
Okay, well, it's apparently also on our PlayStation. So, I'm fucking playing it.
Hell yeah.
Do they actually have a Lego sorter?
No, me. He's calling
I
me.
know
okay.
he's talking about you, but do they actually have one? Because that would be neat. I want a Lord of the Rings Lego sorter.
What the hell?
Or I mean, I'm just trying to keep on topic.
You want to get that big old Rivendell set? Isn't that like what is it, $600 or something like that?
Wouldn't that be just beautiful? Oh my goodness.
It is absolutely beautiful.
I could, die and go to heaven if I had something like that. But really, all I want is the Batmobile.
Yeah, you really do.
Why'd you mute yourself?
I did?
No,
Me?
you did. Yeah.
So you didn't hear me typing as I just
Oh,
checked.
so no clickety clackety? We
I
actually
love the
love that
clickety-clackety.
clickety clackety.
Oh,
My
yeah,
laptop doesn't click clack like that. So.
that makes one of us. Lord of the Rings. I'm just trying to price check this thing. Oh, it's only 500, not 600.
Only? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
500.
Well, the Batmobile that I want, Lego wise, is 400, I think.
Okay.
We
So
don't
that's not
discuss
too
that.
bad.
Yeah.
We do discuss it every Christmas since that
Thanks,
movie came out.
Sean.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. One day I'm going to get it because of Sean. And
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Sorry, I was just basking in they have like a video on Lego's website of the whole Rivendell thing, and they're like panning it around, and then it like pans out into art that somebody's drawn of the scenery, and
But it's funny because that's what Sean said. He said the Rivendell set is really nice.
yeah, you're not wrong, Sean. I just wish it was maybe like $200 cheaper.
This
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is the
has
one
have
you wanted.
have any of you been to a Legoland?
No, actually,
Have you been, Sean, to Legoland?
It's California.
No, they have them all over the place, love.
But I'm just saying, when you're close,
I mean, they
but like,
could
has
be.
anybody else been?
Florida's pretty close.
I haven't been to Legoland. I have been to plenty of Lego stores. Also, I'm that guy that like one adult who's going into the minifigure bin and putting them together as like little children get way too close and crowding on my space. And like I'll have my hand in a bin, I'm sorting through, and then a kid just takes his little snot-filled mitts and puts his hands in there too. And I'm just like, I can't say anything because you're the right age to be here, and I'm the weirdo. But man, is that annoying.
It is.
Sean, you should go. We need to plan a trip to Legoland for Sean.
Oh yeah,
It's the best. I had season passes with me and the kids, and it's definitely geared towards the younger, but it brings out the kid in all of us. Kind
Right,
of thing.
exactly.
I mean,
It's a theme park. You're gonna.
it's
freaking
a
enjoy
theme park
yourself.
that's really built for the youth. You know, like all the rides are, you know, wee
Little
bitty
people.
size. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like I felt uncomfortable riding their roller coaster because it felt like a toy.
now, did it like was it as like a wimp wetter where it like didn't really do much at all? Like, did it have any drops or anything?
No, it did. It was a full blown roller coaster, but you were just in a Lego car. You know, like a Lego Formula
It
One
was a
car.
mental thing.
Okay, but it still
Yeah.
like had a big
It's
drop.
still like a legit roller
Right.
coaster.
Yeah, yeah, it was legit roller coaster, but they have like different things, like where you ride a Lego horse around a moat type area that squirts
Lego
water
pony.
from the lily pads. I mean, it's very like kid oriented, I think so, but super fun. I mean, we went. I mean, I must have spent so much money on buying. They used to pack. I don't know if they still do this, but they used to pack, I guess, little figurines. They would release 7. I don't know if it's 7 a month or 7 a quarter or whatever, but 7 different figures, and there would be one in the 7 that was really desirable. Like the year that I did it, it was the Space Marine, and they had really bad ones too in there.
Which of course
Like
everybody got.
like the
bad
dad
one.
with the briefcase. Nobody wanted the dad with the briefcase. They wanted the badass Space Marine. But there seemed to be more dads than anything. But you couldn't tell
They were
because
the
of the
mystery
blister
packs.
packs. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You
what
don't know
you're
what
talking
you're
about.
getting.
That's where I got a bunch of they did a Dungeons and Dragons collection. There's a set of those now. Got a whole bunch of them. It so I cheated a little bit. You can go online and you can find a barcode scanner where if you take those little packs, you take the scanner, you scan it, and they'll tell you what figures inside of it. Just
Yeah,
a-
this was before
Bad
the
mix.
internet. This was kind of before the internet.
This was when life
My,
was
my
so fun.
yeah, my kid, it was probably 10 years ago, so it was before the internet was so accessible. And people didn't know
the
that.
internet was around.
Huh.
You're not crazy, Ray.
Time flies a little faster than you think it does. We've been here 10 years.
Well, how old are my kids?
They're freaking old now.
Well, maybe 15 years ago then. Yeah.
Before they had the barcode scanners, the workaround was like those were in those little plastic packs that you could feel, but it was like flexible.
Mhm.
Feel for the accessories, and then once you figured out what the accessories were, you look at the like display and see like what accessory comes with which figure. Oh, okay.
Right? Who's holding the sword? I know it,
Right. Yeah.
That they ruined it. Actually, they ruined it by putting them in like little cardboard things now.
Uh-huh.
You can't feel them. But that's why you get the barcode scanner.
Yeah, back in the before times.
Yeah, nice try, Lego, but we figured you out.
Yeah, there's a workaround for everything.
I wasn't smart enough back then, 15 years ago, to do a workaround. So I spent fucking obscene amounts of money on these fucking things
Oh no!
for my son.
Just to get a Space Marine.
Just for a space fucking Marine. And he ended up with like 15 Space Marines by the end of it all.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. He wanted not, okay, one was cool, but Dad, they got to fight each other. They got to have a battle.
I need a legion, Dad.
Yeah, so like I'm in. I'm like I fucking opened a credit card just for those fucking Lego toys.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the things parents do for their children.
Look at
this Lego army.
yeah, and then I asked him today, I'm like, so how's your Lego army? Like I kept the fucking one Space Marine that I had on my computer as a protector of my computer for like 15 years. I don't know how long, but a good long time. And then I did get the father because he had a briefcase and it was like me. So
were there any Lord of the Rings figures, or have we just like moved past?
There was. I wish I had all the Lord of the Rings figures. Oh my god, they're so cute.
Buy the sets to get them, but I had there was a set where it had like Aragorn. I think it was Aragorn versus the Ring Wraiths. So I had that one. It came with a couple Ring Wraiths. It came with Aragorn. I think Frodo was in it. It was very
Probably
cool.
a fire pit.
Yeah, it was that whole thing. Yep.
That's rad.
Yeah. And they had a little Lego Gollum. He was all hunched over. It's very, very fun.
Yeah.
They did make the best. I mean, they do a fabulous job at whatever they do. I mean, even the cityscapes that they have at these theme parks are bananas. Like you can walk through these things.
Yeah.
And the designers that build these freaking things is amazing. And I can just imagine what they did with the world of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Battle of Weathertop.
Carrot Top?
Yeah. That's the one.
That is. Weathertop is the site.
Hell yeah. I've got that somewhere.
That was such a great scene in the movie too.
Yeah.
That really did hit home, and they were scary. The ring wraiths were scary. The shrieks that they made were scary. And I'm a grown-ass man when I'm watching Lord of the Rings, but I was scared. I was scared. It was, I mean, even like the battles and stuff. I mean, just the horses riding into the battle were scary.
Yes.
Just the sounds. I mean,
although I'm not
a
super fan, I do have like a massive appreciation for what they produced, for the world that was created. I mean,
it was beyond anybody's expectations. I think that's what it comes down to.
When you watch the movie, you are legitimately just transported. Like everything is so stunning. They don't miss any detail. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and they did it so well, and it was perfect. It was literally perfection.
And to be honest with you, it probably boosted tourism to New Zealand. So it's a win-win situation.
Oh, I'm sure that every freaking Lord of the Rings nerd dream vacation has gone to New Zealand,
right?
To walk in the path of the traveling three.
Oh, I did not know that. Yeah. Fran Walsh provided most of the ring race screens. Interesting.
And it also it cemented the Lord of the Rings as a franchise. I mean, because before that, it was a very popular book series. Everybody knew of it. It was great. It was a recommended read. But let's be real, normie culture doesn't really read all that much. And so without that visual media, it opened up to a whole new audience. And from there, that's when you get video games, Hobbit movies, new adaptations,
The Lego
Lord
stuff.
of the Rings.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's not just normie culture. Tolkien is a like that's a hurdle. You have to dedicate yourself to those books to read and get through them. His writing style is not for everyone. So it's not just normie culture. It's a lot of it affects a lot of people. Like if you've gotten into it, you've gotten into it. But if you haven't, you won't.
It's not that you won't. It's very hard to though get into them.
You do have to be
Like,
very
let's just take a
dedicated.
poll out of the people that are here. Who's read the books, like thoroughly,
Part,
from
not-
top to bottom?
Not the whole series, not the whole
Just the
series.
3 of us.
But I think what it also did, I think Lord of the Rings made itself the gold standard for going forward what we're going to hold any fantasy series to. Anything that they bring to life, any adaptations, any styles, you know, it's going to be compared to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think
As
you're right.
far as world building,
Mhm.
it was a great world. I mean,
We figured, Sean. We
Yeah.
kind of figured. Like, my money was on that you had not read them.
anybody else in the chat
I'm
read the
just
books?
saying, I'm not reading any Hobbits. That's all I'm saying.
Did in high school. A lot of people did in high school. It was it?
Yeah.
I think it was a high school read, wasn't it? A
No.
mandatory read.
Well, maybe for you, but not for me.
Not for me either, but I did also choose to read them when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when I picked them up.
After seeing the
The
Rankin Bass specials.
I think it was in 10th grade. I think that we actually had an optional book. There was like a list where they were like, this is an optional read. You read this and write your own report on it. And we did have Lord of the Rings as something you could pick from that, but it wasn't like a required.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Like your summer reading.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. But the Rankin Bass specials were just The Hobbit, right? That he didn't do the Lord of the Rings. He did the Fellowship of the Ring, Return of the King and The Hobbit were the Rankin Bass. Because he didn't do. I don't think he did the Lord of the Rings. Because Lord of the Rings was a Ralph Bakshi weird art.
Let's see. You might be right. I remember because the ones that you mentioned are the ones I remember, which was The Hobbit and The Return of the King. Those are the ones I distinctly remember seeing in my brain.
Those are the ones that were more cartoony, more like family friendly.
Yeah, kind of. Definitely.
Return of the King.
It was kind of like the Smurfs episodes.
Smurfs. Oh God, what was the wizard's name on the Smurfs? Now all I can-
Gargamel.
That
How could you not know that?
I couldn't. I had a brain fart.
Okay. You're forgiven.
I was put on the spot.
Yeah, I think you're right. It looks like he did The Hobbit. They did The Hobbit and Return of the King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Rotten Tomatoes gave the Rankin and Bass Return of the King a 67%. I mean, fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes.
Honestly, that's not bad for Rotten Tomatoes, though. Like,
It's true.
you know, for Rotten Tomatoes to say 67%.
Rotoscoping. Yes.
And the audience
Hey,
score is
you have to be Sherman. Are you Sherman? You're either Sherman or Rasmussen with all this knowledge.
With our smart friends.
Because I don't know who you are by your screen name on YouTube, because we're used to like being on Facebook Live, and and you still don't want to reveal yourself. It's cool. Secret identities are cool. Frustrating as
Maybe
fuck
it's
all,
Batman.
but
Could be Batman.
I'm 100% sure it's Sherman. It looks like a Sherman icon, thumbnail, or whatever you call it.
I don't know, but I love the mystery.
Hey,
I'm not
maybe-
messing with any of it.
Yeah, he's going to come to us at con and say, "That is me, dumbass."
I love a good mystery.
You just keep answering those great questions.
Come to con wearing a mask and then do a face unveil.
Just
Yeah.
Shut up.
Have it sound effect go, yeah.
So
I-
just
I-
for point of comparison, I looked
yeah.
up the Rings of Power on Rotten Tomatoes. 84% from
Really?
critics, and then very, I'm guessing, skewed audience, 49%, which is probably mostly like neo
Haters.
Yeah, we discussed that.
Nazi, yeah, bullshit. Which,
So
mm.
while I have everybody's attention, I have an announcement to make.
Yay, 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 yeah.
Okay, I do have an announcement to make. Don't make that face, Nick. It's nothing juicy. I mean, it might get juicy. It may get juicy. But for those of you that are here with us, I would love to extend this invitation to you to join the AOA team this Friday. They are going to be playing and trying out the Jackbox Naughty Pack.
Ooh.
Jackbox is having a naughty party. We're having a naughty Jackbox party pack. Party pack.
Jackbox party pack.
Oh, yeah.
It's this Friday at 10. It is on Team AOA's Twitch, which Nack's going to be dropping the info in there because if I do it, then it's going to be looking like spam.
Yeah, well, it won't. You didn't send it to
I
him.
did put it in the thingy. JK. 5 seconds. But just want to make sure that you guys know about that and that you
Join them. They're our super friends.
Oops.
They are. We love them. They support us. We support them. We help each other
They help
out.
each other sort
in
Legos,
all
stuff like
kinds
that.
of endeavors of this world. They help us out at con. We help them out at con. We're a really, really loving family.
We're working on it. I had everything closed out. Like
I cannot believe she did not do that, Nick.
I had it copied.
For shame. Then hit Control V if you had it copied.
Everything closed out. I gotta sign back in.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't have everything saved.
Oh, God.
But go figure. It's gonna take like 8 years to log in. Say what?
I mean, they have great shows. He's got his Lego build shows, which are really entertaining.
You know what?
Fascinating for whatever reason. I am like fascinated by that. I don't have to even talk or participate. I can just watch and be totally happy. It's almost like those stupid videos where they do the different noises on the microphones.
Oh yeah.
What are they called? Those stupid videos, baby?
The ASMR.
Yeah, the ASMR crap that
I
they
did
do.
it. I fixed it. I had a blow moment.
Yeah. It's been proven because I see it. Yeah. It's almost like that, like so super appealing on that level. What's the show about next week, Nick? Dun 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 dun.
That depends.
Oh, okay, okay. That's still up in the air.
It might be a little up in the air.
I
Okay.
thought we were gonna, how you nerd. How do you nerd?
We could
We
have
all nerd differently.
because I think the alternative, like my contact is up in the air.
Ours
So I
too.
think if we want to how we nerd,
Yeah, ours is in the air. So I do believe we are going to discuss how we nerd, what we nerd into, all the ins and outs of our nerdisms, and how it translates. Yay! See?
Hopefully we
We
got
fixed
enough
it.
info on there because it was too long for YouTube, Sean.
Oh yeah, I just copied the whole thing. So click in there.
Okay.
Make
Those
sure
are all
you
the links.
support those wonderful, beautiful people.
That means everybody. Nick, if you haven't done it yet, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Either you do it, or you do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh, sorry. I went 90s on that one. But thank
was that
you guys.
90s or was that 80s?
90s. Early 90s. I think. We'll go with that. Appreciate everybody for being here We love you guys.
Next week is How We Nerd.
How are we nerding?
Nerd.
Writing nerdy.
Lefty Lucy.
How do you write nerdy?
Are you riding nerdy? They see me rolling.
I think that's what I'm going to go with the title in the advertisement. Writing
Oh
nerdy.
my god. That's
How
gonna
do
be
you write
beautiful.
nerdy?
But thank you guys.
Thanks
Again,
everyone
we will see you
for
next
digging
time.
into the show. Lord of the Rings for life.
Bye.
Peace, love.